How would you like 40 grand in tax-free cash to leave the United Kingdom? Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood has announced her latest so-called deterrent to stop the small boats, and it is a whopper. A taxpayer-funded golden goodbye, 40 grand per family for failed asylum seekers to leave voluntarily.
One of the great successes of the Danish model has been the use of incentives, which sees 95% of removals take place voluntarily. This government will now pilot a similar model for families who are failed asylum seekers, a small number of whom will now be offered an increased incentive payment of £10,000 per person and up to a maximum of £40,000 per family. To put that in important context, today, a family of 3 in asylum hotel accommodation costs up to £158,000 per year. Should these incentives prove effective, they will represent a significant saving to the taxpayer.
Right, well, this all comes as she's jetted off to Denmark and recently getting ideas on illegal migrant deterrence. But to be honest, it looks like she's come back with a cash incentive for them instead. Because this is a jackpot at the end of the rainbow, isn't it? And in my opinion, it's so obviously going to act as a magnet for even more illegal migrants crossing the channel, fueling human trafficking gangs and putting more lives at risk in dangerous boats. And of course, boosting the chances of migrants returning after cashing in once already. The scheme announced today only targets failed asylum families, should I say. But imagine if every undocumented migrant took a similar payout. Well, conservative estimates put the undocumented population at around 700 to 900,000, quite a lot of people. And at 40 grand each, that would cost us as a country between 28 and 36 billion pounds of your hard-earned money. Worse still, that sum is life-changing in origin countries. An Eritrean could live modestly for up to 14 years without working, a Pakistani around 12 years. And in Afghanistan, for example, this is worth up to 27 years worth of salary. What do you think they're going to tell their mates when they get home? Go to Britain, get free cash, never work again. It is totally moronic, isn't it? It really is. In fact, to me, it feels like a bit of a stealth way to deliver reparations. And for the average full-time working Brit earning 39 grand a year, it would take nearly 2 years of solid work to pocket 40k, wouldn't it? And I'm not even including all the stealth taxes you have to pay as well. How many Brits do you think would snap up 40 grand in tax-free cash to leave this country right now? Oh, and on cue, surprise, surprise, WhatsApp messages leaked to The Times reveal that Labour MPs are in open revolt over these plans. Stella Creasy MP claims they will result in another Windrush-style scandal, and other MPs are refusing to come out in support of the Home Secretary. This is nothing short of a big, fat slap in the face to every law-abiding, hard-working Brit struggling with bills under record-high taxation under this government. Now, they know those taxes will go to people that shouldn't even be here. What a shambles. And I've got a novel idea for you, Shabana Mahmood. Why don't you just round up the illegal migrants and put them on the first flight out of here instead? Be far more popular and far more cost-effective.
Here's what most people don't realise. Your personal data isn't just floating around, it's being bought and sold every single day by data brokers. That means employers, strangers, scammers, and even criminals can access it. And that's how identity theft, fraud, and harassment starts. Now, sure, you could try removing it yourself, but it takes hours of forms and emails, and even then, it usually pops right back up. That's why this video is brought to you by Incogni. Incogni contacts data brokers on your behalf and demands your information is deleted from their databases, and they keep on doing it to make sure it stays gone. And they've just launched an unlimited plan with custom removals. So if your info appears on some random website, you can paste the link and their privacy team will personally work to get it taken down. It's simple. Click the link in the description, create your account, give permission, and they handle the rest. Head to incogni.com/GB News. And with the code GB News, you can get a huge 60% off an annual plan. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code now. It works out at less than a coffee a month. It's also totally risk-free for 30 days. Take back control of your personal data today with Incogni. And a big thanks to them for supporting the channel.
All right, let's get the thoughts of my panel on this, shall we? GB News contributor Connie Shaw is here, Conservative peer Lord Bailey's joining me, and ex-Labour advisor Matthew Lars is here too. Welcome, everybody.
Good evening.
Lord Bailey, I'll start with you. I understand the big critique of this is going to be, OK, this could be cheaper for us. But British taxpayers are going to feel completely left to one side.
Let me take a step back. If you return home for £40,000, then you were never really seeking asylum. Because anybody watching this now, would you sell your whole family for £40,000? That's the first thing. So actually, you catch your people out. Secondly, look at the deal we have with France. 1 in, 1 out. We put 1 out and then they come straight back. This could become a biannual trip. If you live in certain places in the world, if you do this every 2 or 3 years, you're made for life.
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. So how are we going to answer that? Look, the more important thing as well is you're going to be rewarding the gangs, because now gangs can approach people and say 2 things. You can pay us more because if it goes wrong, they'll pay you to come back. So this whole idea that we're smashing the gangs will be doing the complete opposite. We'll be aiding their business model. Look, I understand that the Home Secretary's in a tough position and she has to find some way of addressing that, but I'd argue this is probably not it.
Yeah, Connie, it's going to fuel the migrant gangs, isn't it? This is what it's going to do, particularly from people in countries where we can't deport them back.
Well, yeah, and obviously Shabana Mahmood, like you were saying, Lord Bailey, is in a difficult position. And we know that the reason why migrants come to this country after they have failed to get asylum in other countries in Europe that are much tougher than us, they've come from safe countries, they're failed asylum seekers, and they come here. So we need to be getting rid of incentives. And what we've just given is a broadcast to everyone who would like to come here that actually you may be able to make a profit, because if you do pay for a boat and then you'll just make that profit. Obviously, Shabana Mahmood is playing a very tricky game now after the Gorton and Denton by-election, because it's really seeing mixed messages from Shabana Mahmood and Wes Streeting. Wes Streeting just gave that speech about how he doesn't want to see this racism coming from people criticising the Muslim vote. Yet here we have Shabana Mahmood becoming really tough on immigration, trying to shift the party to the right. But now Wes Streeting is seemingly going in the other direction. And it just seems like Labour still don't know what the message is. Because the whole party is divided. I think this will be the end of the Labour Party.
Matthew?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is a really sensible set of proposals. Of course, the headline sticks in people's throats, but actually, as Shabana said in the clip you played, I think we'd rather pay 40 grand to get a family who feels stuck in this country, who were lied to by people traffickers, who want to go home, to get them to go home rather than sit here. It's the initial trial is for 150 families. Obviously, nobody would get it twice, Sean. So there's no question.
We have had migrants return here.
Absolutely, but they're not going to be given this is a trial, and clearly nobody would be given the payment twice. And this is only one aspect of the package today.
So I don't think you can say that with confidence. I think you can make.
Well, you can, because they have ID and they have biometric
what
ID.
What do they do when they come back over? They chuck it into the channel, Matthew. That's the problem.
No, because it's biometric, and therefore they can take the fingerprints.
Right, OK, fair enough.
So that they can trace them. And this is only part of a package which includes really sensible moves, like stopping student visas, which have been abused from the highest risk countries, Cameroon, Myanmar, Sudan, Afghanistan, and also ensuring that anybody who is found to be working illegally is kicked out of their accommodation, that anybody who breaks the law at all while they're in asylum accommodation is kicked out, or anybody who won't move out of their asylum accommodation because they're quite enjoying it in a hotel and they don't want to go somewhere less glam is kicked out as well. And also, crucially, anybody, because I know it's a big frustration we've discussed on this show before, is that anybody who is convicted of a crime and gets a 1-year suspended sentence or more will be thrown out. Well, at the moment, it's a 1-year prison sentence. That goes to a suspended sentence, which means a lot more foreign criminals will automatically be deported. That's a really strong package.
We were talking about that last night. I didn't want to go over it again, but I do welcome those things, by the way. They are good things. Lord Bailey, when it comes to paying illegal migrants to leave, Reform and the Tories have got similar policies.
There's one thing I will say about Shabana Mahmood's tactics that could work. She absolutely has to limit it to people who are here already. If you're not here now, you don't come and join a scheme.
That's what the scheme is.
That's an obvious thing to do. And look, I've got to talk about West Streeting for a second. The reason West Streeting's in a tizzy because the makeup of his constituency means that he's a goner. So he doesn't know what to do. Shabana Mahmood is acting for the whole country, but he's acting for his seat. And that's why he's in a bit of a...
Her seat's got a majority.
I just want to go back to my question.
Her seat's got a majority Muslim vote.
I just want to go back to my question because the Tories and Reform have also got policies to pay migrants to leave there, haven't they? So are they not going to end up in the same place Labour is?
No, because, we're not giving anybody 40 grand. Just be clear, put them on the plane, maybe give them a little handshake so they can go home and set up. £40,000.
It's not each, it's a family.
There's certain parts of the world, many parts of the world, if somebody gave you £40,000 sterling, you're living like a lord. That is not
I
right.
highlighted some of them,
It's worked in Denmark.
It's like 27 or 16 years, something like that, of salary. It's crazy.
It may have worked in Denmark, but Denmark are not the people who are also paying France. Well, how much are we paying France?
Too much, and that's why we're going to have a better deal than the one the Tories signed.
It's adding to the bill.
Surely the difference, as far as I'm aware, the difference, at least with the Tories and Reform, is that they both want to leave the ECHR.
Yes.
And one of the reasons why Shabana Mahmood is first offering money for them to go is so that we don't have to have ridiculous court battles. But because she doesn't want to leave the ECHR, if they don't accept the money, then we're still going to have to go through the court battles. That's the difference with the Tories and Reform.
I guess it is the big divide, isn't it? And it's going to be the big divide, whether people are paying them or not. It's going to be the big divide in the next election, Matthew.
Absolutely, between a Labour Party that's getting a grip, step by step, not everything straight away, absolutely. So, for example, one of the changes they're making is under an EU, a law from memory in the EU, you couldn't, it basically restricted your ability to chuck people out of accommodation, not provide them with support, even if they'd done bad things or they were working, etc. The Tories took us out of Europe. They kept this law. We are now changing it so that it reverts to the old idea that you can only get support if you really need it, and not for bad people.
So we're going to have a load of homeless young men roaming the streets of this country. That sounds like a great idea. It really does.
Because it is. Well, I mean, I don't think that the voters of Britain want people who have been convicted of crimes or who have found working. They're not. This is about finding people who are being in a accommodation provided by the taxpayer who has proved working. Kick them out. Stop wasting taxpayers' money. They're not going to be homeless, Sean. They're working as Uber drivers.
Would deport them. But let's be clear. If you know anything about people, the most dangerous person on the planet is a young man with nothing to lose. If you make someone homeless, you're putting them and us at high risk.
But they've got their salary as a delivery driver to lose, Sean.
Connie, I'll finish with you because to me there seems like a very simple solution here, which is we do need to just crack down and we can stop these boats coming in if we show there is no incentive to be here. At the moment, there is so many incentives. We're talking about policies that Labour are trialling where they're going to put migrants into council houses, refurbished council houses as well. That's another draw. There's so much to bring people here, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to me, when I hear about plans to tackle people already here, I think, well, what is the point until we turn the tap off? That's what it's going to be hard for people to understand. I know that we've had a drop in boats over the last week, but the weather's only going to get better, and we are still seeing, in recent times, hundreds of people coming in single days. So until we turn the tap off, what is the point in trying to tackle the people that are already here illegally?
By the way, we have got a WhatsApp group where all of us coordinated our outfits tonight. Different shades of grey. Is it 50 Shades of Grey? Hopefully not.
There's less conflict than in the one the Labour MPs were.
Not the kind of show I signed up for tonight.